The next thing I want to talk about is, what do we do from here? Because there's a lot of people asking me. And I understand the desire for retribution and revenge. Please believe me, I do. But there's another thing I've learned, and that is their actions are all about focusing and controlling our reactions. They want us to behave in a certain way so that they can use it as evidence that we are the savages they claim that we are, at the same time that they engage in acts of savagery. Charlie was on to something. Charlie was on to something when he emphasized faith, when he emphasized founding principles, when he emphasized family, when he emphasized marriage, when he emphasized having kids. He was on to something. And the reason why he was on to it was because he knew that the left would not spend so much time denigrating these institutions, whether it be the church, whether it be marriage, whether it be the family. He knew there had to be a reason they spent so much time trying to systematically dismantle those things and to replace them with something else. And I can tell you right now, for everybody that's looking at me skeptically or thinking that I'm advocating an easy way out or I'm advocating a platitude, I promise you I'm not. I know what it is to put my life on the line for something I believe in. And I can remember the very moment in November of 2008 in Iraq where I thought my next move is going to get me killed. And I remember thinking to myself in that moment, if I don't do my duty, what do I tell my wife? What do I tell my children? They believe something about me. They believe I am honorable. They believe I am brave. And so there was no choice. You had to do your duty. But you deprive people of that. You deprive young men of their faith in God, of a wife and a marriage they can believe in, of children that they can raise, love, and protect. It becomes very easy to deprive them of any notion of patriotism, any notion of community, any notion of country. There's a reason why Charlie focused so much. It's because everything else we love and everything else we fight for within the political realm is built upon that foundation. And so as we go forward, I will tell you this much. I am not just pouring back into my Bible, I'm pouring back into the arguments, the history. I want to better understand. I want to be able to better debate, not because I'm interested in trying to convince the sort of person that would murder me or celebrate my murder in front of my children, but because there are out there that are looking around and wondering what is true. And for anybody that is still wondering what is true, my God commands me in 1 Peter 3:15 to first sanctify Christ in my heart and always be prepared to give a response for the hope that is in me, but to do so with gentleness and respect. And I will be honest, I am struggling with the gentleness right now. But it's a command, not a request. So I will improve on that area of my life. I will improve on the sort of husband I am to my wife. I will improve on the sort of father I am to my children. I will improve my intellect with respect to arguing my positions for anyone that is willing to listen and give it a fair hearing and receive the same in kind. But I will also improve in everything I need to do to protect the things I love. I will be as hard a target as I possibly can be. I already recognize I'm a target. I've accepted that. But I will be the hardest one I possibly can be. I encourage you to learn on the own areas of your life, the spiritual, because as much as I get hammered for always bringing up Christianity, let me tell you what we're confronting right now. It's evil. And like God, I am not willing that anyone should perish, but there are evil ideologies in this world that deserve to be destroyed. And if you don't have a spiritual foundation, you can't even define evil. It becomes nothing more than something that you don't like in the moment. But if you want to understand it and you want to effectively fight it, you better start researching what it actually is. The intellectual. It is time that we continue to aspire to make the sort of intellectually rigorous arguments that Charlie made. The emotional, we will have to control our emotions. That doesn't mean they cannot inform our actions or inform our thoughts, but they cannot direct them. That is what the other side wants. They want us to be so consumed with grief that we screw up. What we believe deserves more. Charlie deserves more. Professionally, develop the capabilities that you need to. Because as I look at the various industries that are employing these people, I am coming with my own ultimatum. You fire this, or I don't do business with you. And if that means we have to endure a little bit of economic pain or the deprivation of convenience, so be it. And finally, the physical. Don't tell me you understand the nature of this fight if you're not actually willing to develop the sort of martial capabilities that you need to in order to defend the things that you love. Over the next several weeks, we will hopefully find the man that killed Charlie and learn more about what their specific motivations were. But there's a reason why we showed you all of the comments, all of the celebration, all of the likes and shares. It was so you would remember this is not a bug. This is a feature of the ideology they have chosen. It was not imposed. It was not directed to them. They chose it. I sincerely hope with all of my heart, and please believe me when I say this, that they will choose something different. I don't believe that anybody is beyond Christ's saving grace. As Alistair Begg once said, the only reason why any of us ever get into heaven is because the man on the middle cross said we could come. But we are entering a different era. Be careful that you don't conduct yourself in such a way that would diminish the legacy that Charlie Kirk left behind. Because his wife and children are watching. But by the same token, do not be lulled into a false sense of security that we can continue on as we have before. Something has changed. It is now our responsibility to make sure that as we fight evil, we also provide a vision of what could be, what is true, and what is noble, and what is just, and what is loving. Thank you, Charlie. As I said before, your fight's over, but ours is just beginning. Thank you.